Welcome back to another Life After Lockup recap, season 5, episode 6, I think. Who knows? Who cares? The episode title is called Deleted But Not Forgotten. And y'all, this was a crazy episode. So many things happened. It was so good. I would rate it like a 9 out of 10. I don't even know who to begin with. I want to talk about Taylor and Chance so freaking bad, but I'm going to save them for last. So let's start with, Justine and Michael.
Ugh, talking about them is gonna piss me off.
So everybody gathers at Michael's mother's house. His sister, sister-in-law, Justine's mom, and the 72 kids. They're all having this huge, delicious-looking breakfast. Everybody's in good spirits. Justine's looking at the whole entire family getting along, and she smiles, and she's like, wow, this is everything I ever wanted. You know, my family and his family and everybody getting together and spending time together. It's just so nice. Justine goes on to say how she feels bad because Mike's children have already lost him for 6 years to the prison system, and his 2 youngest ones never spent any time with him, and now they're going to feel like she's taking their father away from them. Again. Well, newsflash, Justine, that's because you are. Okay, you literally are taking the father away from them. Granted, I know it's ultimately his decision, so the responsibility is really on him at the end of the day. All of a sudden, Michael says, this is great and all, but I have an announcement to make. Me and the family are moving to Vegas. Huh? What about your other kids? Like, what about the new baby? I thought the new baby was going to be born in Rhode Island and we were all going to be together. And Justine says, I hope you guys can understand that this decision will give our entire family positive opportunities. You mean you and Michael? And then she goes on to say, but especially for Michael and his music and everything he's been deprived of for a very long time because he was in prison. Listen, ooh, that statement pissed me the off. Listen, I get that you want to start living your life and doing things for yourself after having lost so many years in prison. I get it. Listen, I get it. I do. But then don't have so many effing kids, okay? As long as you have kids, in my opinion, I feel like it's your responsibility as a parent to put your kids first. This is why I don't understand why some people have kids. They're not accessories. They're not cute little things that you hope one day will become your best friends. If you choose to have children, then you should prioritize them and their needs. Some of you may not agree, but that's just what I think. That's my opinion. If you don't agree, then eat my ass. By the way, Michael has 2 6-year-olds, and I thought they were twins, but they're not. They're siblings because he got 2 women pregnant at the same time. Oh my God. Okay. So one of the 6-year-old asks him, can we come with you? And Michael says, in a perfect world, yes. His other 6-year-old hears this and she starts withdrawing and she's crying.
You know, we're hoping.
And now here's another thing that pissed me off. Justine goes, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's wrong?
Don't ask her what's wrong, you idiot. You know what's wrong. What do you think is wrong?
Michael picks up his daughter who's crying and he echoes Justine, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? Oh, you guys, my blood started to boil. His sister chimes in and she says, Michael, what do you mean what's wrong? She's obviously upset. She's your kid and you're moving. Thank you. Finally, someone with a working brain says something.
Someone with common sense. Finally, someone who these idiots should be so effing grateful for, because she's been there for his kids when he couldn't be, which is most of the time, and now it's gonna be all the time.
His sister gets emotional and talks about how all the kids crying right now reminds her of when they used to cry while Michael was in prison. Freaking heartbreaking. Justine mom asks them, when you guys made this decision, did you guys base it on what's best on the kids' behalf? No, of course they didn't. They were probably like, F them kids. It's all about Michael and his rap career. Justine says, well, Michael's going to have a conversation with the kids' moms about visitation. And guess what? He hasn't even brought up that conversation to the moms. So why is he acting all heartbroken and upset over this decision when he didn't even talk to their moms about it?
Have you had that conversation with their moms yet? So you made the decision without even consulting with them? No.
Yeah.
His 17-year-old daughter Melody is crying as well, and she talks about how she's going to miss her dad again and all of her other siblings who are moving. And even though she's old enough to where she could move with them, she doesn't want to leave the other kids behind. They can't go, and then they're going to feel like they're completely left alone. Like, what the freak? These poor kids do not deserve this. I feel so freaking... Michael comes up with a brilliant plan. Sorry. I'm laughing because it's so funny that he thinks this is even remotely possible. His plan is that he will fly to Rhode Island once a month to see the kids, and then the kids will fly out to Vegas once a month. So they'll see each other every other week. Okay, yeah. Good luck with that. So everyone's crying. They're saying their goodbyes. Michael's like, I know it's tough now, but I gotta do this, and it's all gonna make sense later. Okay. So Dumb and Dumber walk out in their matching race car suits to their big bus so that they can head over back to Pennsylvania so that they can start packing and get started on their move to Vegas. Now, it's hilarious how nonchalant they are about this. They're like, I know it's hard, but it's got to be done. No, it doesn't.
I do feel bad that I'm moving further away, but it's something that, has to be done.
Okay, so they're back in Pennsylvania. They're starting to pack up their house. Meanwhile, Michael gets a call from, I think, his parole officer who wants him to come in. So he drives over there, goes in, comes out, and he says that they weren't able to expedite their transfer because I guess they need approval for him to move from Pennsylvania to Vegas. But there was paperwork that he needed to sign and submit so that the approval can go through. But he never got it in the mail. Therefore, no signed paper means no transfer. So basically, the move has to be on hold because he can't move until he gets that official approval. And now he's got to break the news to Justine. Now he's stressing out. He was like, oh, how could I have forgotten? I knew I should have checked in more. I should have done this. I should have done that. How am I going to break the news to my boss, Justine? So he's like driving around, huffing, stressed out. And then he does a video call with Justine and he tries to break the news, but he just can't because she's so excited. She's like packing the boxes. She's like, oh my God, we're going to start our new lives without your kids in Vegas, blah, blah, blah. And he just can't break the news on video call. He's like, all right, I got to go home and I got to break the news in person. Now he's stressing because this is not only going to be a huge inconvenience to, I don't know, whatever, but it's going to be a financial burden because the move alone is costing $10,000. But now on top of that, he has to pay the mortgage on the new house in Vegas plus the rent in Pennsylvania until they can move. So good luck. Now on to Melissa and Louie. Okay, let me just say, Louie's the biggest surprise for me this season. He turned out to be completely the opposite of what I had expected him to be like. Initially, I thought he'd be just this big player and he was gonna break Melissa's heart and not really get back on the right track, but he's just been so amazing. Like, I think I'm starting to develop a crush on him. So Melissa, you better watch out. Louie's headed to the gym to apply for a job. He says in prison he fell in love with working out and exercising, that he'd give like training tips to the other inmates, and he wants to help people change their lives through fitness. So he meets with the manager, they say hello, and then the manager says, so do you have a valid ID? Because I got to do a background check. I do background checks on everybody, okay? Did you hear? I do a background check. And Louie goes, oh, okay, well, just to let you know, I do have a history. I was just released from prison for committing armed robbery and I did 10 years. And I was an addict. I went from pills to heroin, but I've completely changed my life. I'm 5 years sober and I cannot wait to better myself, okay? I'm ready to work and be a really good person in society. I don't think the manager was too happy to hear this. He feels like things might start off great, but then will quickly decline and blow up into pieces. He also tells Louie, you seem like a great guy, but I don't trust drugs. I've seen people 10 years clean and then go back. I'm like, geez, is this what you really want to tell someone who's trying to turn their lives around? Like, talk about a wet fucking blanket. Like, I understand he has his own personal experiences that have teared down his optimism, but damn, I felt bad for Louie in that moment. It must really suck for people who have learned from their mistakes and who have become better people in prison and they want to start their lives over again. But then the system just throws them out and says, good luck, you're probably never going to find a job with your record, but it's not our problem now. Bye. You know? So he gets home from his interview. Melissa has been setting up for the housewarming party and she's like, Louie, where have you been? And he's like, at the interview. I think it went well, but I don't think he trusts the whole drug thing. And she goes, oh, so you wasted your whole day again? And he's like, no, it wasn't a waste of time. It was a learning experience.
Start somewhere.
Melissa, I swear to God, you better stop complaining and cut him some slack, or I swear I'm going to slide into his DMs with a picture of my, potatas, if you know what I'm saying. Melissa's family arrives to the house and one of her sisters looks exactly like her. I was getting confused as to who was who. She's the tatted version of her. She pulls Donna aside to talk to her and she basically tells her that she doesn't trust Louie because she doesn't trust addicts. Apparently, she had a very bad experience with her ex who was an addict. He was super clean and then all of a sudden he relapsed and he passed away, I think. And so Donna's mom was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I know Louie, like he's trying to better his life. He's so excited for his new beginning, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, still don't trust him.
I just don't trust Louie as a person. I'll never trust an addict.
Okay, what the hell is up with everybody just shitting on Louie? I mean, maybe, I don't know, I just feel so bad for the guy. Melissa's dad tells Donna that if Louie breaks Melissa's heart, he's going to go looking for Louie. And despite being 75 years old, prison doesn't scare him. Then Donna goes, if Melissa breaks Louie's heart, I won't be looking for her. But don't turn around because somebody else may be looking for her. Like, what the hell is going on with these threats? So after they threaten each other, they go outside to have a smoke together. And then they bond over being Italian and being a family now. So I think things are good, I think.
How did things go over with my mom and you? Everything's good?
Yeah, we should be married in 3 months.
It's time for Donna to say goodbye to Louie, and she gets very emotional. I have to admit, I did as well. I did tear up a little. It was such a bittersweet moment. I think as annoying as Donna is, she truly, truly loves her son. Her son is everything to her. And, you know, it's sad for her to let him go, but she did. Now let's talk about Lindsay and Blaine. It's going to be real quick. It's not that interesting. Lindsay tells her daughter Miley that she proposed to Blaine. Miley's not crazy about it. She feels like her mom deserves better. And also she feels that it's weird that Blaine didn't propose and she did. And she's like, so you settled? And she's like, no, Molly, I just want to hurry up and get married before I get locked up again. Later, she talks to Blaine and she shows him her hand and her empty ring finger. And she's like, Blaine, you see that empty ring finger? That finger's looking a little empty.
You see, it's just so empty looking. So sad. Fix it.
She tries to give him many, many hints that she wants a frickin' ring. And he goes, Lindsay, well, you deserve the very best. I can't just give you any old ring.
Cause I didn't want to just go get you some little puny ass little ring. Like, you're the best. I was wanting to give you the best.
And she says, Blaine, I don't care if it's a $2 ring. It can look like whatever. It can cost whatever. I don't care. I just want a ring.
I don't even care. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how much it costs.
And Blaine's starting to feel a little pressured and he doesn't like it. He's like, Lindsay, I love you with all my heart. I'm not going to give you a crappy ring that's going to turn your finger green.
You mean more to me than get some gonna turn your finger green.
Blaine, I don't care. I just want action. Well, since we're in such a rush to get married, how about we have a baby? A baby? I'm not having a baby. Hell no. Speaking of baby, she hasn't told him that she has an IUD in, and so there's no chance for babies. And she feels bad that she hasn't told him. I feel like, who cares? It's your body. You can tell him later when you guys are seriously like in that conversation where he really, really wants to have a baby and you guys have that serious conversation. Then you can tell him, but until then, you don't have to do anything, okay? Now, let's talk about Chance and Taylor. So they're in the garage making an epoxy table, and Taylor goes, so Chance, are you going to tell me what happened with Bobo? And Chance goes, Oh yeah, it's fine now. Like, I owed him some money and, I don't have $1,000 just lying around. So I borrowed some money from Zach to pay Bobo, and he's never going to threaten us ever again. And Taylor goes,
Okay, is that it?
and Chance, being the thoughtful, chivalrous, well-meaning man he is, planned a surprise for her after everything he put her through.
She's like, oh my God, Chance, you shouldn't have.
He covers her eyes and brings her outside, and ta-da! She opens her eyes to a crusty-ass old limo. Taylor's mind immediately goes to how much this cost, and he goes, don't worry, babe, it was free.
Okay, well, at least that's within our budget.
Apparently, he borrowed it from Zach for the night to try and convince Taylor that they should invest in this limo business. Of course he has an ulterior motive. On top of the limo, he hired a chauffeur. You guys, whoever did the subtitles literally wrote chauffeur. So they're sitting on top of those crusty ass seats and they're being driven around. There's a loud sudden noise and Taylor goes,
I think the tire just fell off.
and he's like, nah, this is an incredible vehicle, which by the way makes $7,500 a week. Did you know that? Don't you think that would be a great investment, Taylor?
I don't know about that, Chance.
So he takes her to a fine dining restaurant called Shaka Burger. And they eat burgers for dinner in the trunk. He pops the trunk. I'm surprised it didn't break open. And Taylor's like,
This is Chance's last chance to chance it because he's had so many chances and there are no more chances for Chance to chance. You know what I'm chancing?
So a few weeks later, okay, a producer gets a text message from Taylor saying that she kicked Chance out of the mother effing house, okay? Something big must have happened for Taylor to kick him out of the house. Production immediately flew out to the house to see what was going on. So apparently, one night, Chance got home from work and demanded he see Taylor's phone. So then she demanded to see his phone too. And when she went through his phone, there was a text message, just one single text message from an unknown number that said ? So she asked about him. She was like,
What is this, Chance? Why would somebody send you a question mark?
and he started to get angry and defensive. Of course he did. And he started gaslighting her and blaming her. He was, oh, you always pick a fight. Oh my God, why are you acting so shady? Like, why are you doing that? You always want to start something with me. Well, remember I said Taylor isn't as dumb as she looks? Well, she's really not, because she took that unknown number and looked it up in the call log and saw that there were 171 text messages between the two of them just that day that Chance deleted. Now, another production team is with Chance while he's building his empire, and they ask him some questions. And do you want to know what this crazy mother trucker said happened? He said Taylor constantly tries to entrap him and catch him in something, so he was convinced that the unknown number was Taylor using a fake number to text him as some random girl to try to see if he would cheat. I knew that was Taylor using an unknown number trying to catfish me, trying to get me to cheat on her. So yeah, I entertained it.
I started getting these messages and I'm like, man, this is Taylor. Trying to see if I'm doing what she's doing, being scandalous. So I fed into it. She wants a reason, I'll give her a reason.
First of all, why would you entertain it if you really thought it was Taylor trying to catch you in a lie? Are you dumb? So the producers tell Taylor Chance's side of the story and she's like, oh my God, I didn't do that. If you couldn't tell, I'm taking care of 4 children by myself. Okay, when the hell would she have the time to do all this? Oh, and you know what else he did? He threw his phone in the toilet. Whatever he had in there, he really didn't want her to go through.
I tried to call that number and what I found, I never expected that, ever.
But remember, she still has that unknown phone number, so she called it. And guess what? You guys, it was a man who answered. A man answered the phone and then hung up. And then he texted her, who's this? Why are you calling me? And Taylor says,
Chance is my baby daddy. I see that you two have been texting and I just want to know what's up.
and he goes, well, did you ask him about it? Eventually, Taylor finds out who this guy is And apparently, he's the town hoe. And she tells him, wow, your conversation must have been real bad if he threw it in the toilet for me not to see it. So you can have him. And this guy says to her, baby, you know you're not going to leave him. Laughing, crying emoji. I was not expecting that roast. Oh my God. I'm not going to lie. I laughed. I screamed. I was like, oh my God. Haven't we said that about Taylor this whole entire time? Like, why are you not leaving his ass? Like, why? How many chances are you going to give Chance? How many chances? And also, Chance cheating on Taylor with a man was not on my bingo card. No siree. Wow. That was not at all what any of us were expecting, were we? Well, actually, after that last episode with his ex-dealer, you know, they got a little, close. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a little sus. Anyway, Taylor never, ever, ever expected for Chance to be into men. She never got the hint. He never told her. And so she was completely thrown off. She was just like gobsmacked. Like, what? The last time she saw him, they got into a huge fight. He grabbed all his stuff, plus her laptop by accident, and he ran off. So then he calls her when production is there, and he says, I downloaded everything off of your laptop, and you are dirty, Taylor. You are not who I thought you were. First of all, disgusting. Why is he downloading everything on her laptop? Like, that's so disgusting and such an invasion of privacy. Like, okay.
Why are you sounding all irritated? What's wrong with you? Yeah, I'm tired of your man. I downloaded all the information off your laptop, and you're dirty. I finally realized you're not who you said you were. And I'm really upset about it because I put in a lot of hard work and sweat into your house, into your and I don't have nothing to show for it but a truck with a bunch of miles on it.
Doing what manipulative, gaslighting, narcissistic assholes do. And Taylor kept her cool. I don't know how she did. Oh my God. But I will say she did make me laugh a couple times because she was so calmly savage. Oh God, I know we're not supposed to say that word anymore either. God, I just need to like clean up my vocabulary. She was so effortlessly rude. See, that word doesn't hit as hard, but okay. So when he was like, you're definitely not who I thought you were, she calmly says, well, you're definitely not.
I finally realized you're not who you said you were.
Yeah, well, you're definitely not, so.
And then he was talking about, well, I don't even have a bunch of friends who will let me crash, but I found a place, okay? And she goes, yeah, your boyfriends.
Alright, I've already got a place.
Yeah, your boyfriends?
I don't have a boyfriend, honey.
Okay.
I can't. Oh my God, I died. And then this loser says, you know what? I hope you catch something. Okay, bro, I'm pretty sure you're the one who's caught a thing or two, okay? What a freaking loser. He's such a good-for-nothing loser. He's a useless... Oh, God. And that's it for the episode recap. This episode was so good, it almost felt like a finale to me, but I think there's a few episodes left of this season. And Taylor, I know it took you a while to come around and finally dump his ass.
Do not ever take him back.
Raise your standards a little bit. I mean, Chance is like the bottom of the barrel. You can only go up from there. And that's it for the episode recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. If you guys ever want to listen to this on podcast form, I do post my recaps on my podcast called 90 Day Thoughts. So you can head over there. The link will be in the description. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!